My name's Dan Harris, and I'm a beekeeper. It's about to rain, so I'm going to make this pretty quick. I looked a few minutes ago, and the radar was showing a band of showers coming our way, and we desperately need them, so I'm surely not complaining about that. I want you to look at this. All the weeds, I'd love to tell you that the reason I don't mow my yard is so that these can thrive, but I wouldn't be telling you the truth. I just don't have time, don't take the time to mow my yard because I've got other things going on. Oh, all these little weeds supply pollen mostly. Honeybees will get on them and work them for pollen. But the truth of the matter is, the people who really work them are like that one right there. You see that little bee? Much smaller than a honeybee. Those are native pollinators, solitary bees. They don't live in a social community like a honeybee. And if in our part of the country every honeybee died tomorrow, as long as the native pollinators survived, we wouldn't skip a beat. We're fortunate. Here we go. Up, they see you coming. There's a little guy here. Let's see if we can. You see on that one? You see that little guy right there? That's a pollinator. That's a native pollinator. These guys carry the lion's share of pollination in this part of the country. I know beekeepers around are going to call me a heretic, but the truth of the matter is these little guys carry the day. And this kind of unmowed population of blooming weeds are the things that allow them to exist. Look at it. We haven't seen the first honeybee. You see this little guy? Bam, right there. These are the guys that are doing the job. They can get into any bloom. They're so small, they crawl up into anything that's blooming. Many things that a honeybee can't get into. And that's what they do. And I just want you to see this again. I want you just to look at some of these. I want you to make note, if you would, or if you care to, keep in mind in the course of this, there's 40 hives, close to 40 hives, maybe 40 hives right there. See them? Yet on these plants, we might find a honeybee foraging for pollen, but as often as not, we don't. There are plants that they find more desirable, honeybees do. And like I say, this provides forage for other smaller pollinating insects. And when it gets like this, it's too pretty. This little meadowy look is too pretty in my heart to mow it. So it isn't going to get mowed anytime soon. Plus, I know what an important source of nutrition it is to all of the little guys who, you know, might otherwise be out foraged by all those gazillion honeybees around. And so there's one right there, see it? It's in there doing its job, collecting pollen for itself at the same time as it moves from plant to plant, just like a honeybee, only smaller. It'll pollinate these things, and as you can see, they proliferate. So anyway, I wanted you to see that. And you can turn me in, look it up, there's one right here. You can turn me in to the I don't know what the group is that might be defending honeybees as the pollinators of the universe, and I understand in areas where agriculture has clear cut, you know, gazillions of contiguous acres and completely eliminated, there's one there, has completely eliminated any habitat for these guys, where honeybees are pretty essential for those. And I understand that. I'm thankful that I live in a place where there's room for both, where habitat is left untouched. And it's not that I live in a place where, you know, people have really just taken the high road and chosen not to do it. It's because in the South, our topsoil's gone. We actually probably never had any, or if we had some, it was never very much. And so massive clear-cut agriculture here is kind of a ridiculous thing when, you know, people can go up into the Midwest and find, you know, 8-10 feet of topsoil. We don't have any natural topsoil, or if any, it's a fraction of an inch, and that's in the wooded areas that have been untouched. And you know, if you went to all the trouble to clear them, within a season or two, that topsoil will be gone. The heat of summer takes so much nutrition and volatilizes it, it disappears. Got a pretty nice stand for us of clover, and once again, it's rare to see a honeybee on this. Honeybees struggle to forage with this. At the same time, in this part of the country, when this stuff is blooming, there's so many other more desirable things blooming for the honeybees that I do see one on occasion in here. There's one, that's not a honeybee even. Well, I do see an occasional honeybee in here working, but it's pretty unusual. Yep. Every time I go to point at another one of these little guys. Anyway, all right, that's enough. I've gabbed long enough. I can feel the sprinkles falling on my shoulders, and I'm going to go back in and start taking care of some of the indoor things that get neglected. And I no longer have an excuse to ignore them because I'm going to be inside. Anyway, I appreciate you watching. I hope you won't be too offended by me pointing out that these little guys are really carry the lion's share. They carry and shoulder the lion's share of pollination in this part of the country, and they probably would throughout the country if they had habitat, and if they had what they do have here, because it hasn't been cleared. They have a succession, a natural succession of blooming plants through the spring that can provide them with nutrition and allow them to reproduce and live successfully. Again, we're not a bunch of great people here, and you know, we can look down our nose at another soul because we can't. If we had the topsoil to clear cut and, you know, plant en masse, you know, we'd be doing it here too. So but it's good, I suppose, that we don't have any topsoil. Kind of roundabout thing. Anyway, thanks for watching.